Many of you are wondering, what in the world does this commercial have anything to do with Why Now Matters? I mean, why in the world would I play this? Why would I play a clip of a guy who looks almost as sexy as me? I mean, what are some of the what are some of the reasons that I would play this? Now, there's some things I have against the commercial and different things like that, but what did the guy possess in the commercial? Confidence, charisma. Somebody's like, Old Spice, right? Somebody else whispered, abs, right? But you said it right, confidence. But when you take confidence too far, what is that? Yes, Kanye West. And so, I wish I was joking. But one of the interesting things is that I encourage you for these brief moments together that you would walk with me in confidence, but in humility. As we walk through Why Now Matters. As you think and reflect about not only how this can be better for you and your family, but how this can actually improve the student experience and all the work that you do. So let's dive into this. What is your why? You know, I began traveling around, and part of my book, Finding Your Glasses, was about helping values-based success. And one of the things I saw, people were starting to clarify their values, but there was still a missing link, and that part of that missing link was the why. And what I uncovered is in research that showed that people and even leaders who have a better understanding of their core values, their why of what they do, that they actually achieve more and are perceived as better leaders. So I ask you, what is your why? What is that thing that just drives you? I mean, why did you decide to get in this industry in the first place? Why did you decide to work for Star Res or to work for your campuses? To work for the students that you love, most of you. I mean, what are the interesting things? I mean, what is that why? And sometimes what really happens to us is we can sometimes get disconnected from our why. I mean, have you ever tried to plug in a cell phone and it just, one of those loose plugs and it just keeps on falling out? And you keep just trying to plug it in, you're like, why does it keep falling out? But for some strange reason, we keep trying to plug it in the same hole. Anyway. You try to plug it in, it keeps falling out. But that's sometimes we just get disconnected to our why. And it's so important for us to understand what that looks like. And so I want to share it to you like this. There was a marriage in trouble. And a friend of mine, he was telling me about his marriage and really going through some really tough times. They were going through some big financial fights and different things that he and his spouse were going through. And he told me that part of the challenge that he saw that was happening was he started just, all these little things begin to bother him about his partner. He was just going through these issues and walking through it. And he told me one day that he just got so fed up. He just got so fed up and he was just like, you know what, I'm thinking about divorce. I don't know if I can continue to handle this. This is just not what I signed up for. They didn't say this on the marriage certificate. That there's going to be fights, arguments, financial difficulties. I signed up for the good and the better. And so he told me that something hit him. He came across a picture, a photograph of his wedding day. And he remembered, he started replaying the vision of his wedding. And he started telling me about how when he was at the front of the altar, and he saw his beautiful bride coming down, and he was just crying like a little baby. The pictures came out horrible. But just the whole way she just walked down, he started crying. He started remembering that moment. And he started remembering the moments when he first proposed to her and started talking to her and started realizing why he married her in the first place. See, that person who had the marriage in trouble was me. And I had to reconnect to my why. Why did I marry her? See, that actually helps you. Why did you decide to do that? Why did you join this? Why did you get employed here? Those are the things that help us when obstacles and things arise. That is why our now matters. See, because the why is so valuable, and when we get disconnected, sometimes we have to be intentional. So I encourage people to go out and start your day, even if it's just the first 2 minutes, just thinking about why are you here? So I want everybody to stand up real quick to illustration. you to stand up. Okay. Awesome. Now, what I want you to do, each of you has sections. You see your sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go into different quadrants. You're going to go to a network. I'm joking. You're right. But what you're going to do is I want you, around your section, your specific section of chairs, I want you to walk around the whole section as fast as you can and get back to your seat. On your mark, get set, go, 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 go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, awesome. Now, what in the world just happened? Chaos. Like, he's like, Justin, I did more exercise than I did all week. I appreciate that. Now, there are usually 3 groups of people when I do this exercise. So let me show you the 3 groups of people. I'll show you 3 groups of people. Sit here for a second. Use this right here. These are the 3 groups of people who do this exercise. All right, the first group of people. All right, I want everybody to stand up. Man, this guy's making us do something? Psh, man. All right, I want you to walk around your section of chairs. I saw you. I saw you. Yes. The next group of people, I want everybody to stand up. Oh, we're going to do something, yes. We're going to do something, yes. All right, I want you to walk around your section of chairs. Oh, way too many people coming that way. And then the last group of people, last group, I want everybody to stand up, all right? I want you to walk around your whole section of chairs, okay? Those are what I call the shortcut people, which many of you were, as we saw that. And it's interesting to me because an interesting thing happened, if you could see it from my vantage point. About 90% of you all began going the exact same way. It's interesting to see that. I mean, some of you got up to go one way, you started to go, oh, excuse me, I don't want to run into your biceps. And you began going a whole different way. And this is actually a really researched theory called the herd theory. And let me explain it like this. See, have you ever seen a group of people running and not know why they're running? Have you ever experienced that? It's like, hey, why y'all running? Why y'all running? And you just begin running, right? And it just could have been a track team just off for a run. We're just off for a run. It's like, well, why y'all running with masks on? But the interesting thing is that this is a really researched theory called the herd theory. And what the herd theory simply did, it looked at a group of animals. And when these animals thought that impending danger was coming, that they sometimes all began going the exact same way. But sometimes that way was off of a cliff. So the challenge for us is, where is our herd leading us as we begin to redefine or reconnect to our why? What are the things that connect us? One other great tool that you can use, I go into organizations and do consulting, and one of the things that we do is we do these 4 questions. We call it the 4-stage analysis model, but I just make it simple, 4 questions. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? What are the barriers preventing you from getting there? And then how do you remove the barriers? See, if we really took concerted effort to think through those things, you could do that for professional or personal. Like, where are you now with your family? You spending enough time with them? Are you giving them the attention that they desire? Where do you want to be? What are the barriers and how do you remove those barriers? These are all practical things we can do in order to illustrate that. As we think through both our why and our now, what does it look like? So, as I started digging into the research, there's 4 different categories of people. And you may find yourself and or some of your colleagues in some of them. The first one is the low now, low why. And that's the wanderer. That's the person that has no purpose of why they're doing what they're doing, and they're not really doing anything in the first place. No passion. You know some wanderers? You know, they don't know why they're doing it, and they're not doing it with any energy at all. Then you have the people that have a very high why, but a low now. And these are the great thinkers among us. You know the person that just really thinks about, like, man, I love what I do, but they don't do anything about the thing that they love. It's like, man, I love it. I got in this to save lives, to add smiles to everyday lives. But then they don't do the work, don't execute the passion. It's the thinkers. They think about it. They have a high why, low now. Then you have those who are just high now, low why, and those are the misplaced, the people that are in the wrong place. I mean, it's happened to me. Well, one of the things that I did, I used to live in Baltimore, and I used to commute from Baltimore. I was working on grad level work at GW. I used to commute from Baltimore to D.C. And so one morning I was late, and I was super late, and my wife was with me, and we were going, and she was just helping me, so I was running, and we were going and real fast in the car, like, just trying to go all the shortcuts, and we're getting there. I just take my briefcase, I run out the car, kiss, we're going, I'll see you later, and I run down the street. I'm like, I'm just down there, get down there, and I'm like, woo! I jump on the train, and as soon as I jumped on, the door shut behind me, and I was like, yes, I made it. Have you ever had one of those moments you're like, yes, I made it? I did it. I made it, y'all. I got on the train. I sat down. I was just so proud of myself. Conductor came down the aisle. He was like, all aboard? I was like, yeah, I made it. And he was like, all right, everybody, this train is headed to Delaware. Now, if you don't know geography, D.C. is south of Baltimore. Delaware is north of Baltimore. And I proceeded to argue with the conductor, no, sir. I'm sorry, this train is going to D.C. He said, no, this train is going to Delaware. And I was like, wait a minute, how long is the trip to Delaware? So I ended up going 45 minutes in the wrong direction to then get to class like 3 hours late and got there. But that's sometimes what we do when we are rushing through life so much. We don't press pause and think about our why, that we just operate in a high now. We're willing to do anything. We're going everywhere. We're doing everything, but we're doing it in all the wrong places. And that's some of us at times. And what I encourage you to do is, as you live out this why and reconnect to your why, and you live out passionately now, there's only one thing left to do at that point, and that is to celebrate. So I want you to put your hands together like this. All right, come on, like this. Put your hands together like this. All right. I want you like you just had the best time at the conference so far, and you're excited for what's to come. All right. Now, what I want you to do is follow me heavy like this. I like this, y'all. I like this. Now put your right hand in the air. And put your right hand in the air. And to the left. And to the left. Your other left. Your other left. And put your left hand in the air. And put your left hand in the air. And to the right. Oh, to the right. And to the right. And to the right. Now both hands in the air. And both hands in the air. And scream. I want you to give your neighbor a high five and says, you're why. Other neighbor high five says, you're now matters. Now, if you could do me one big favor, if you could welcome to the stage the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. David!